Welcome to Awake to Oneness Radio. I am Caroline Chang, your host. The mission of Awake to Oneness Radio is to inspire the world to awaken to the universal truth of oneness. Science is now teaching us that all life is interconnected and interdependent. All life is one. And what spirituality and ancient wisdom has been teaching the truth of oneness for eons. So what you do to another person, you're literally doing to another aspect of yourself. And when mankind awakens to the universal truth of oneness, there will be peace on earth. Today's show topic is Live Carefree with medium Susanne Wilson. Welcome, Susanne, to Awake to Oneness.
Thank you. I am absolutely delighted to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Well, thank you so much. As I mentioned to you before we got started, I have heard about you for for a long time because I'm very familiar with Suzanne Giesemann, who I know you work closely with Suzanne. So it's Suzanne and Suzanne.
Yeah, C and S.
Yes.
Because we feel like sisters, soul sisters. Somehow we came up with she's Z-ster and I'm S-ster.
Okay. I like that. That is so cute. That is so cute. Well, Suzanne, they call you the Carefree Medium. And I love that. I just love that. Please share your journey with our listeners.
Well, first off, the Carefree Medium, one of my clients came up with that one time because I live and work based in Carefree, Arizona. And one time on our voicemail, there was a message, we're coming in from Canada and we want to meet with the Carefree Medium. And I said, gosh, that works on so many levels because it's not just where I am. And physically, it's where I am about 99% of the time, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And I say 99% of the time because living on the earth is rough. So I'm not always going to feel carefree. But I do believe that you mentioned the knowledge of the greater reality. Once we have that knowledge that we are forever beings of light and that the peace that passes all understanding is always available to us no matter what, we really can be carefree.
Yes, that is so true. When I truly awoke into the truth of oneness, the understanding on a heartfelt level, that phrase, the peace that surpasses all understanding, which I first heard in church, but once I understood oneness at a heartfelt level, I was like, I get it. I mean, yes, exactly what you said, when we know who we are, we know we are divine aspects of light. We are divine aspects of God. We can never be separated from God. We can never be harmed. We are a living expression of the divine. And when we know that, yes, you can live your life carefree. And I agree with you 1,000%, because I say I'm 99.9%. I still have a physical human body. I'm not my body, but I have a body. And I'm still here in this human experience. And sometimes, like I said, I'm in Northeast Pennsylvania. And in the Poconos, it is the second day of spring. There is 2 feet of snow on the ground, and I'm in the midst of a blizzard. So.
I'm not even going to tell you how nice it is in Arizona right now, but I understand you're about to find out.
Yes.
Come here and visit next month to go to the Helping Parents Heal conference.
Yes, I will be there. Yes, and it will be a relief to be away from all the snow.
Absolutely. You know, talking about awakening to oneness, we're born awake to the greater reality. We're fresh from the other side, but we don't have all of our communication abilities, obviously, yet. And so young children are especially sensitive to seeing spirit lights, to receiving information from guides and spirit loved ones and their higher selves. And they don't really know what it is. They just live it. They just are it. And then over time, we become programmed to focus just right here. And I was at the airport in Orlando just a couple days ago, and I was noticing there wasn't one person seated that wasn't doing this or typing on a, And so all these electronic devices and all of this stuff that we have to do just to survive on the earth and get through a day detracts us, distracts us, gets us off track from
Yes.
who we truly are as beings. I knew that it was right to see spirit lights when I was a child. And I just assumed, and I continued seeing them. I didn't outgrow it. Like most children around 7 or 8, around the time that their root energy center, or if you are familiar with the word chakra,
Yes.
wheel of light, about 7 or 8 years old, about the time the root chakra is really developed, they start to lose that connection, and they start not really caring about seeing or noticing and seeing the spirit information around them. For me, it just got stronger and stronger.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Well,
so
please.
I was one weird child.
Wow. Please share that. Yeah, I said we got off to the races real quick, which was great. But I'd love for you to maybe backtrack and share that experience from your childhood up until present day, how you are. And I did not know that you lived in a town called named Carefree. I didn't know that at all. I know nothing about Arizona, but that's amazing.
Yeah, there are people that ride everywhere on horseback here, but it's, in 10 minutes we can be in Scottsdale or Phoenix. So it's like its own little world. And they have vortex energy. You hear about the vortexes in Sedona. Well, we have them right here in Carefree too. I think Arizona has a lot of them. And I was drawn here my whole life, but it took me until only about 8 years ago to actually get here. I had this whole journey I had to go through, starting with being born in a little town in Kentucky, and not having a dad. It was my mom and her parents and me, and then growing up in Southern Illinois, and I was the preacher's granddaughter.
Okay. I actually am a preacher's granddaughter, but I never met my grandfather. But he was a Baptist, on my mom's side, he was a Baptist minister, but I never met him. He passed away before I was born. But yeah.
Well, I was very fortunate that my granddad also had a degree. He had a PhD in metaphysical sciences. And so he was way ahead of his time. And in fact, I believe he was a closeted medium himself. He dabbled in a lot of different things, including past life regression, hypnosis, but a lot of this was kept very secret. If I hadn't had him as a child, I could have completely lost my way. And later on, as I'm about to tell you, I did lose my way and became a less than nice person for a while. So as a child, I would get teased on the playground because I just couldn't keep my mouth shut about the things I was seeing. And I'm like crazily clairvoyant to this day. So I would have a child on the playground, and an older lady, I can remember this very clearly, an older lady standing behind a little girl. I'm about 8, she's about 8. And I said, "Oh, there's an old lady standing behind you. I think it's your granny." And I remember her turning around and looking, and of course she didn't see anything. So what does she do? She turns around and pushes me down on the playground because of course I'm messing with her, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So what turned out to happen to me is I was bullied at school and called Crazy Susie. And I didn't want to go to school anymore. And so I would fake that I was sick. And one day my mom called her dad, my granddad, and said, "You got to come over and talk to her." And he said, "Why do you not want to go to school? Why are you so worried and upset?" And I confided in him that I was being bullied and the reasons why. And he said, I see them. I just can't help it. I see them. Right. And to my surprise, he said, "I see them too."
Oh, wow.
That changed everything. So for about the next 6-7 years, I would spend my weekends with him. And so he had to preach at the Presbyterian Church on Sunday.
Yes.
In addition to all the duties that preachers do all week long.
Right.
Well, on Saturday, we'd go into his study, and I would be coloring in coloring books or playing on the floor with toys. And he would sit in this chair with a pad of paper and a pen and just kind of sit with his eyes open. But now I know he was meditating. And all of a sudden, the study would fill with light, bright, bright light. and he would start writing very fast. When the light left the room, he stopped writing. The sermon was done. So I thought that's what preachers did. They went in a room, they waited for light, the light came, they wrote the sermon, boom. Now I realize he was dialed in to something huge.
Right.
And when he left the earth, I was only 14. And that whole week before, I knew he was leaving, and I was going to miss those talks. And we talked about everything. I knew that I wasn't I wasn't against religious beliefs. I knew that, and I don't want to mess with anybody's religious beliefs, but if I had a preacher grandfather telling me this is from God,
yes,
and you are working with the light, and you are good. And so I never got that mindset of scary, bad, evil. Yes. I call it all one word, scary, bad, evil. I knew the whole week before that he was about to die. And by this time we had moved to a town a couple hours drive away, and I wasn't old enough to drive, but my mother had seen my predictions come true with lots of other things.
Right.
And so I called him on the phone, and I said, Granddad, I'm afraid you're going to die. And he promised me, no, I'm fine. Right. Sure enough, a couple nights after that, I was laying awake in my bed. I'm 14 years old. I'm sitting up. All of a sudden, it's like the lights come to my room. And there he is. There's my granddad walking in. And at first I thought, oh, you took me seriously. You came to visit because you knew I was upset. And so I reached out for him, and then we were dancing together, the slow dance, very formal, just like we did at father-daughter dances. Wow. And he said, God has called me home, but you are going to be all right. And I remember him saying something about, you must trust. And I begged him to stay. Oh, don't go. Or take me with you, but don't go. Right. And then he was gone. Oh, I turned, the light left the room. So I had to turn on the lights because it was pitch dark again. And I was sitting on my bed, sobbing my heart out when I heard the phone off in the kitchen ring. And then I heard my mother scream. A few minutes later, she came in. She saw me sitting up, and she said, you know, don't you? I said, yes. Isn't that amazing?
That is such an amazing story. That is so, I'm not sure, your mic is going in and out with volume, but yeah. Okay. I can hear you good now.
Sometimes it's the hair.
Yes.
The hair can get in the way.
Yeah, but no, I hear you good now. But that, oh my God, I get chills. I get chills.
And here I am all these years later, and it's a powerful moment of seeing him. He just dropped dead of a heart attack. And in those days, there was no screening for heart issues. We had no idea he was going to drop dead at 56.
Oh my goodness, that's young.
But I knew.
Yes, you knew. And wow. So now, okay, so you have the gift. When I say the gift, and I'll say this because I want people to understand, we all can communicate with the spirit realm. Right. But I believe people are born, like there's some people that are born out, I teach piano lessons, and some people come out the womb being able to play the piano. So you kind of came out the womb. You came out right. Being able to communicate, because everybody can learn how to play piano, but some people just come out, they don't have to take a lesson, they can play. And that's right. That's kind of your gift. You came out the womb being able to communicate with spirit, which is amazing. So after Grandpa, I don't like to use the word pass. I like to use the word transition, because he just went to the next side, the other side. He's not gone. He's still with you. So after he goes to the other side, how does you keep developing your ability, your God-given natural abilities?
Well, I was very fortunate that I was very close to what I now know to be a spirit guide. And at that time, he presented himself to me as a little boy my age with red hair. And today, he is a man with red hair, mustache, and beard. Okay. Same spirit guide. And that's just the way that we've agreed he'll show himself to me, because he could look like anything. He's just a wonderful, high vibrational being who's had many, many lives, lots of experience, and can help me. So this little boy went everywhere with me. He would walk me to school. We would fly together when my body slept at night during my dreams, and he was the safe place because the rest of the world didn't totally get me, even though my mom's super supportive. She had her own issues to deal with. So, and I'm just this crazy kid. I excelled in school, but I didn't want to be friends with people at school. And as a teenager, when I wanted to talk about these things, I would find out that all the other kids wanted to do was tell ghost stories and play with Ouija boards. And I grew up knowing that this is love and special and not a game or a toy, and not to be, not to fool with Ouija boards.
Yes.
To do a whole show on.
Okay. Okay.
But we won't.
Okay.
So
well,
I'm disconnected at this point.
I remember as a kid having a Ouija board. I don't remember playing with it too much, but I do remember, I think I was
in the 70s.
In the 60s and 70s, yeah. I was born in 62, so 60s and 70s, everybody had one. So I remember we had one. Yeah. Yeah.
And I remember being around one in the same room and hearing voices that were strangers to me, and a feeling of walk away. So I actually didn't sit and play with it, which is great.
Okay.
But the whole thing is, I'm disconnected. I'm feeling disconnected. I think I'm disconnected. I have the illusion of being disconnected because there's no one on earth I can really talk to and relate with. So then I spend my young adulthood getting degrees and getting great jobs. I got a bachelor's in management, a master's in public administration. I became certified as a senior human resources professional. I had really great jobs. I was a founding administrative director for the Center for Leadership and Innovation at a Florida university. I was a director at Stanford University. And then I went to the private sector, and I was doing great with a great job with amazing stock options and pay at a corporate world. And all I did was want more. I wanted to make more money. I wanted to be more ruthless. I remember enjoying firing people. I remember enjoying you just didn't measure up, Yeah. I remember that, and it's I'm not ashamed because that was who I was then, and this is who I am now. But I was not a loving person. Now, all the time that I'm doing all of this corporate stuff and getting this education and buying stuff, I'm also secretly, as a hobby, going to psychic development seminars and teachers, and everything's so easy for me.
Right.
But I don't have I need an attitude adjustment, and I need to not hide it from people. So John Lennon says, life is what happens to you while you're busy making other plans.
Right.
2007, I had a near-death experience, anaphylaxis, where you stop breathing from allergic reaction, throat closes, I'm honking like a goose, and then I step up and out of my body, and I hear beautiful music that I want to go to. I want to go towards that music and into that music and be that music. I see beautiful spirit lights around me, and I feel arms hold me, and I know this is my grandfather, even though I can't see him.
Right.
But then I hear this weird little voice saying, your work hasn't started yet. Then I see an epinephrine injection. I'm looking at my body. They're putting the needle in my arm, but they're moving in slow motion.
Okay.
When the needle goes off, I'm vacuum sucked back into the body. But the whole ambulance ride to the hospital, I could see my grandfather there with me. I was looking at the guy in the medical tech person in the ambulance. I could see every bit of his aura.
Right.
So, Caroline, I'm screwed now because I can't shut this thing off.
Yes.
I can't get back to my corporate job and be the harsh, buttoned up person because I can see dead people 24/7. I can see angels. I can see everything. I can see the thoughts in the aura. It doesn't mean I can read their mind, but I can see that the emotion that emanates from a person. I could look at a body of an individual before me and know they had a stomach ulcer. And I can't live like this.
Right. Okay.
So you want to know what my solution is at this point?
Yeah.
To drink.
Oh, okay.
Lots and lots of alcohol as soon as I get home from work. I've got to drown this noise out.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. That's what we do. We try to, I mean, when I say we, our human self tries to, okay, we find something to escape what we're destined to do sometimes, instead
That's right.
Yeah.
And so nowadays, my whole mission is to teach other people how to tune into their own intuitive abilities, how to make their own connection with their own beloved people and pets.
Yes.
So they don't have to go get readings.
Right.
They can make their own connection. So they can tap into their higher self. They can do it themselves. And that mediums that are giving readings now will have to become teachers instead of readers.
Right.
We all have this ability, and I want to teach people to do that. So when a student says to me now, hey, Susanne, how come when I have a couple cocktails, I can tune in so much easier? And I tell them that is an illusion.
Okay.
It's just taking your defenses down, because I had used alcohol for a while after my near-death experience to tune out.
Right.
So I talk about keeping your energy clean.
Yes.
And not polluting your body with alcohol, drugs, things that bring you down. But for me at the time, it was my only way to tune them out. Okay. So I knew I didn't want to become alcohol dependent, but I knew that I had to get some kind of way to control this thing. Because it was actually just startling to get out of the shower and have this white, beautiful spirit lady hand me my towel. I scream, she screams, the towel drops on the floor, and she's gone, but I'm terrorized,
I was like,
she meant well. She meant well.
Take the towel and then say, thank you.
Yeah, exactly. I'm in the bathroom, in the toilet. And somebody knock on the door. There's nobody home but me.
Right.
So you want to live like this? I didn't.
Okay.
Finally, I smartened up, and I thought, well, if I went to all these workshops and things to work with my abilities, maybe they can teach me how to stop them.
Right.
So I actually went to a great teacher named Alan Arcieri in Cape Coral, Florida. Alan's now on the other side of life, and he helps me. In fact, he just showed up on the stage this past weekend in the Villages, Florida, at the Spirit Guides workshop that Suzanne Giesemann and I do together. It was really great to see him. So Alan says to me, well, he didn't know why I came. I came for the reading. He brings my grandfather in. He brings my spirit guide, Leroy, in. And he knows nothing about me. It's all top secret. And he's telling me, yeah, you've got to get on your mission. And your grandfather is a great man of the cloth. And he's here telling you to do your work. Your guide is here telling you he's your twin soul. You've been his guide before. But you were a guide just learning things when he was on the earth. You were his guide, but you're like an apprentice. He's a more advanced guide. Okay. So take advantage of him and use him. And then he goes to me, by the way, Suzanne, I get the feeling that you're overwhelmed with all the spirits coming in. And I said, yes, that's all I said. I mean, I was a terrible client. I gave Alan no feedback. He's just sitting there wondering if I'm getting anything. And then he goes, instead of trying to close them out, why don't you ask the spirits, what can I do for you?
Yeah.
Wow, there's something different. What can I do for you? So once I asked them, I found out that there would be opportunities to give a message to someone. And then it was so easy. I literally lived that movie with Bruce Willis and the little boy where he says, I see dead people.
Yes, I love that movie. And that was one of the few movies that truly shocked me at the end. That truly shocked me at the end. Yeah,
I didn't live the whole movie, but it was like that. Once I realized I could learn how to tune out, and that I could just simply say to the people, well, what do you need? What do you want? And do you know what they want most of the time, Caroline?
What?
They just want to be acknowledged.
Okay.
A lot of the time, that's all it is. It's, I see you. I know you're there.
Yeah.
A smile, some recognition. Okay. That's easy.
Yeah. And you know what? In truth, spirits are not much different than we are here in physical, because a lot of times that's what people want. People
That's
want
right.
to be acknowledged, to say, I see you, I hear you.
That's exactly it.
So in truth, they're not much different than we are. And in truth, they are not, because it is all one. Spirit and the physical world is not separate from the spiritual world.
I'm so glad you said that.
Yes.
Because people say, they'll ask me, where is heaven? Where is the other side of life? And it's right here. It's in the same space. We're occupying the same space.
Exactly.
But they, for lack of a better term, they vibe at a faster frequency that's so fast. It's like something, think about when a car passes you. Right. And, you know, you're standing by the side of the road and they go zoom by.
Yes.
And that they're faster than that.
Yes.
That's what it is. And they don't have the vocal cords that we have and the bodies that we have. So the communication is not easy.
Right.
The communication between the living and the spirit world is not easy, but it is natural.
Yes.
It just isn't easy.
Yes.
And what people don't recognize, and I wish that they would, so I'm going to get on my little soapbox now. Please, people, recognize that the loved ones, both the people and the pets, they work at it too, to give you a sign, a symbol, a synchronicity.
Yes.
They work at it to get into your dream. There are those whose job it is on the other side of life to help get the communication through. So it's not like they can just like walk into the room like they just came off a giant billboard and walked into your room in the flash.
Right.
They would if they could.
Yeah. Which is so amazing. When I had my first reading, my son is on the other side, and he transitioned 3.5 years ago now, and my first reading was with Susanne Wilson on his birthday in 2016, which was Thanksgiving Day of 2016. I had never heard of EVP. I knew nothing about mediumship, never had a reading before, none of this stuff. My son was actually trying to speak through Suzanne's computer. We were doing a session in Zoom, and Suzanne was recording it, and I was recording it in Zoom, and and I didn't listen to Suzanne's recording till 2 days later, and there was a spot in the recording where you could actually hear my son's voice. You couldn't make out what he was saying, but you could hear it, and I emailed Suzanne. I told her exactly where to listen, and she's like, oh my God, you know. So, and not only that, you were speaking about the pets. My son brought through my Coco, who transitioned in 2007, and my Coco wanted to let me know she was okay, and he was holding her, and you could clearly hear a dog's bark. It was like amazing. It's so amazing.
I love hearing things like this.
Yes.
And you know, your son practiced and rehearsed, and he had a joyful time getting ready for that meeting with you. Isn't that lovely?
Oh my goodness, yes. And I know he's with me all the time. That's why I'm so excited to go to the conference next month, Helping Parents Heal, because I want parents to know that have children, whether it be young children, adult children, on the other side, that they're not gone. They're with you all the time, and they want you to know that they're with you. So I'm looking so much forward to, you know, just being around other parents and just sharing that truth, that they're not gone. They're still right here. Yes.
Still right here.
Yes.
And, you know, there's an organization I'm involved with called AREI, the Afterlife Research and Education Institute, with Craig Hogan, Wendy, and Victor Zamet. And we have weekly Zoom meetings in 2 different time zones, one for Oz or Australia or that side of the world, and one for the US and Canada and UK.
Yes.
And our members, and the membership fee is really low. It's $39 for a whole year.
Okay.
But we meet on Zoom just like this, and we bring in the top world experts every week, and we have a conference in September.
Oh, wow. I've got it. You know what? That's amazing. I have been in touch with Craig. I sent that recording, the one that Suzanne recorded. I sent that to Craig, and he sent me a whole printout of what he can make out of what Kyle is saying, because Kyle is like
Beautiful.
communicating all through that. There's EVP all through that recording. So I definitely want to join that. And yes, I have had Dr. Gary Schwartz on as a guest, working on the soul phone.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
You know, I'm one of his advisory board
Yes.
folks, and have been doing the experiment. So I've been able to connect with, believe it or not, and it's been done with scientific, and I don't know if it's double blind or triple blind or whatever. I'm not that sciencey myself, but it's designed by Gary Schwartz type of exercises where I've communicated with Nikola Tesla, Thomas Edison.
Yes.
The list could go on, and even
Yes.
Michael Jackson, the pop star and Beautiful Soul, as part of helping on the other side to get the soul phone to come to fruition.
Yes.
And the prototype for lack of a better term, texting with the other side.
Yes.
Is already in proof of concept. So things are rolling.
Oh yes.
Our friends on the other side of life, they are jazzed up. They are happy. I mean, they have good lives over there anyway.
Yes.
I think there's no physical, mental, there's no pain.
Limitation, right.
Yeah, there's no limitations. There's no pain. They can travel. They can experience things. They can bring their energy here to influence us and give us a little thought to help us move further ahead in science and in the arts and whatever. So they're having a blast.
Yes.
But I have seen them in the last year get super duper excited about the shift in our energy here. Yes. The fact that we're understanding and really understanding on a soul level.
Yes.
This isn't all there is, and that we're creating bridges for communication. Yes. I've never seen the other side this excited.
Wow. Wow, that is so exciting to know, because I know, I feel it and I see it. You know, I only see the good. I know that people say I keep my head in the sand. I don't watch news. I know that everything is vibration. Like you said, the spirit realm is right here, but at a higher vibration. So I know that the higher I keep my vibration, the closer I can, hear them. And so since I know that everything is vibration, I don't watch news. I don't, I hear news because I'm on the internet, but I don't really watch it. I try to keep my vibration high. And I truly see that in mainstream media, I see how we are evolving. Our consciousness is raising. And it's so amazing because it is energy. It's just vibration and energy. And science,
it's thanks to a lot of the volunteers and the workers that came before us, that pioneered over the last 200 years in mediumship and afterlife research. And they're now over there.
Yes.
See?
Yes.
And they're bringing that energy and that knowledge and continuing to work with us and partner with us.
Yes.
So even though Earth is a tough classroom, or I've heard a couple of teachers call it the gym, where we come to work out. And then I say, and I'll add to that, that our sweat is our tears.
Yes, our sweat is our tears.
Yes.
And the other thing is that, Earth is a really tough school, and we chose to come, and we are very courageous souls to come at this time, to help raise the vibration. We had a choice. We didn't have to. It was our choice to come.
That is absolutely right.
Yes.
And I predict that in 15 years, that at least 90% of people on the earth who want to, that's the key, who want to, will be communicating directly with those who have gone on to the other side of life.
That would be great.
Yes.
Can you jiggle your mic a little bit? Your hair got in the way a little bit. Okay.
Story of my life.
Yeah, that's okay.
You know why I don't say 100% of those who want to? I say 90%. There's still some fear.
Yes.
Some fear. Fear is the number one barrier to communicating, to making the direct connection with your own loved ones. And you have to just really think about it, and is there any part of me that's afraid they're going to scare me? They're never going to scare you. Now you
Right.
might get startled,
Yes.
but it's a happy startle, like a, ooh, isn't that nice? You made that nice little white orb appear beside me.
Yes.
Or, you know, that sort of thing.
Yes.
So release your fear, folks, and go for it, because the loved ones, they come with you when you're celebrating. They come with you. They're right at your side when you need them in sorrow. And
Yes.
they don't miss out on any opportunity to take part of life here.
Well, Susanne Geisman told me that Kyle says he's very proud of this show, and he's my co-host. So I know. Yes.
Good. I got that.
Yes.
And, so I meditated for about 15 minutes before logging into this call.
Yes.
And I immediately got like a double, triple ray of pink light coming into me. And I knew it was coming from you. It's coming from you and him.
Okay.
That pink light is the heart light. That's the light of compassion, and that's how I see it in aura.
Okay. Awesome. Amazing. Yeah, you were talking about aura. Now, do you still see auras around people?
All the time.
Oh, because you know what that makes me think of? A story that Edgar Cayce shared years ago when Edgar Cayce was here in the physical. He was in New York, and he was in the Macy's building, I believe, and he was about to get on an elevator, but he always saw auras around people. But when he was about to step into the elevator, there was no auras. All the people, like say there were 5 or 6 people, and they had no aura. That startled him. So he didn't get on that elevator, and that elevator crashed, and they were all killed. So
I know
after
that.
that.
I've heard that story. I know
Yes.
that. And, you know, Edgar said that whenever we're tuning in to information, that our intention should be that we're seeking information that back to us
Yes.
that is hopeful, helpful, and healing. And
Yes.
boy, that was definitely all of that, because it was not his time.
Right.
For the people on the elevator, if they were injured, or if they were transitioned because of that crash,
right,
then that was the time.
Exactly.
It's interesting because one of the questions I get asked a lot is, why is it, you know, sometimes, like, for example, there's a big train wreck, and, you know, this many people walk away without a scratch, and this many people pass. Where's the guardian angel? Where's the sense in that? And, you know, you can say, well, it was just their time, and the other people it wasn't. But the whole point of this is, my teacher Alan used to say, you can get a miracle saving of someone. You can get a miracle cure if that miracle cure is in service of that soul's growth, or in service of the growth of another person close to them.
Okay.
Then that miracle cure will happen.
Yes.
But if the illness or the injury or the death is in the service to that soul, or the service of the growth of someone close to them, then that's going to happen. But no matter what happens, the peace that surpasses all understanding is always available to everybody. And
it happens for the highest good. And I understand on an experience level what you just said, because I did, with my son, I did experience a miracle 2.5 years before he transitioned. And if I didn't experience that miracle, because doctor said 2.5 years before he actually transitioned, doctor said he was going to transition, and I tried to take my life. So, but the miracle was we both went home. He pulled himself in December of 2011, he pulled himself off of life support, and he was fine. It was a true medical miracle. Doctors were like, oh my God, you know, he's on life support. Doctors are saying he's not going to live, and he pulls himself off. True miracle. And we both go home. I take a bottle of sleeping pills. I'm fine. We both go home. So it was because of that miracle that I believe I'm doing the work that I'm doing now, because I made a promise to God after that miracle. I said, I don't know what's going to happen from now on. But I will never, ever, ever stop thanking you for being able to bring my son home at that time. You know?
And the miracles can come most unexpectedly. And in this particular case, Kyle is a teacher. He's a teacher soul through and through. He's a more advanced soul who volunteered to come here and make the ultimate sacrifice. And you partnered together to do that, because together, reaching across that so-called veil, the two of you are teaching right now. And if more people who are mourning and grieving, I say honor your grief, cry your tears out till you just can't cry anymore, but then understand that you can reach across the veil and continue to work together very, very closely. And in some cases, I've had clients tell me a difficult person in their life, they feel reconciled now that they're on the other side, and they feel that person closer
to them. Exactly.
Now,
Exactly.
all the earthly baggage is gone. So there's it sounds as crazy as it sounds, there's so many benefits to having a loved one on the other side. There's so many benefits.
Well,
and I'm going to get email blasting about that, because I always do.
Yes.
There's somebody out there that's so enraged that they got to direct it to somewhere.
Right.
But just remember, just hold it somewhere in your heart and just be open. Just be open to the possibility that your love can even be intensified when someone's in the other world.
I can tell you, I can testify for me, because when he didn't pass and I experienced a miracle, that I held it in my heart. And when he actually did transition, at the moment of his transition in 2014, I was at complete peace. I knew number one, I knew he wasn't going anywhere. He was still with me. I knew it was a soul agreement that he and I had made. So, and I was at complete peace. And I say, when I say it to people, that I was at complete peace when my son actually did transition, a lot of people can't understand that. But yeah, it was like you said, it was a teaching moment years earlier for the moment he did transition. So I would be ready, and understand he wasn't going anywhere. So I understand exactly what you say, and I agree 1,000%. And I'm a parent who has a son on the other side, and I can tell you everything happens for our highest good, and they're not suffering, and they're still with us. So and
they're having fun.
Yes, they are.
It's a blast to
Yeah.
your dream, or to leave you that coin or feather, or the repetitive numbers that you see on license plates, or the clock and see their birth date.
Yes.
And you're recognizing that when you see that and saying, thank you, I know that was you.
Yes, I do it all the time.
Can you do it again sometime?
Yes.
And they just get so jazzed up. There are my people over there, my very trusted people on the other side of life, tell me that there are discussion circles where groups meet and talk about what their loved ones here are going through. Like, we really need to pray for Susanne because, she just had that surgery, but I'm so proud of her because, she's walking faster than the doctor said that she would. And everybody in that circle, they're bragging about us. Let's give them more to brag about.
Yes.
Let's show them how brave and strong and how we are a force in the world for good, and we are sharing our talents and our gifts. Make them proud.
Yes, this is so true. This is so true, and it brings you such a sense of joy when you know that they're proud of you, because I know that Kyle is proud, and I know he and I are working together. He's on the other side working, and I'm on this side working, and I know that our bond is stronger than ever. Now that, he's in spirit, and he can be with me anytime. Not just, when Mother's Day and Christmas and New Year's,
You're absolutely right.
Yes. It's great. Yeah, we're going to have a great time in Arizona. I can't wait.
I know.
I can't wait. So now tell us, I know you do a lot of workshops. I love that you said that your mission now is to teach others. So can you share a little of that with our listeners? How do you go about trying to teach others to connect with their loved ones?
We're using Zoom right now, and I actually teach 2 different classes at the moment. One is a beginning intuitive development class. I limit it to just a handful of students working live, just like this, how we're talking with me.
Mm-hmm.
And a class I had recently, I had students from US, Canada, Australia, and Ghana. I didn't know where Ghana was. I had to look it up on a map.
Okay.
But I have that student in my class, and it's so
Yes.
fun. So we have group exercises that we do together. We meet together. And the second class is an Intuition 2, I call it, is mediumship.
Okay.
And it's not so much about doing readings for other people, although you could take that format and you could grow with it. I always believe that people need to sit in development for quite a while before they're professional mediums.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. That's a side benefit. I'm doing the mediumship teaching so that people can make that their own connection with their own beloved people and pets. And it's like sitting in a development circle.
Mm-hmm.
I have some teaching in the beginning and sharing. There are exercises about developing your symbols and different things like that. But then we sit in development circle, just like the old time development circles. And I'm sure there are people out there listening and watching who sit in circle where you meet and you tune into spirit together. You sit in the power together and you bring through messages for each other, or you tune into an even higher frequency and bring in higher level teacher messages. But I'm there to make the connection with the student.
Okay.
So they know it's real. They know it's not monkey mind or imagination.
Right.
And in both levels of this course, we work with spirit guides.
Yes.
Unsung heroes of the other side who are working with us.
Yes.
So, you have guides. Kyle has guides.
Yes.
Your guides are buddies. We all work together. They're helping us behind the scenes. How cool is it to have your guides help you up front?
Yes.
Instead of behind the scenes. So it's very empowering. And it's why I'm alive. It's why I'm still here. I actually have a chronic illness that years ago a doctor told me, I could write you on disability and you could just take it easy the rest of your life. So I overcome that the best way that I can. And I find that knowing that I'm still here, I'm still here in the physical, no matter how bad pain can be, or no matter what weird complication I get, if I'm still here, I still have work to do.
Yes.
Heaven is my home, but I am not homesick.
Right.
Work.
Right.
So for those of you who are suffering with physical issues, figure out what your gifts are, your talents, whether it's being kind or being a good listener or supporting. You don't have to go out and save the whole world. You have to brighten the corner right where you are.
Yes.
But figure it out and do it, because that will help you heal. The best pain medicine I know in the world is love.
Yes.
Receiving it.
Yes. Love, unconditional love heals everything. That is so true. I just wrote that in a post on Facebook a few minutes before we got on to this recording, to this. I was just responding to somebody, and I just said unconditional love heals everything. Heals everything.
And I'm coming out on your show with a chronic condition.
Okay. Wow.
It's the first.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, my daughter also is she was diagnosed with MS in 2003. And she's 37. I sometimes forget. She was 23 when she was diagnosed.
Yep.
And she's 37 now. And she suffers, from multiple sclerosis, and that currently she's wheelchair bound. So I do understand and can identify with that.
And I have several family members much worse off than I am. So, these things can run in families.
Okay.
And so I know there's like a family dynamic or a group soul plan or something around this.
It's a soul agreement. Yes.
It's a soul agreement, but we don't want to be self-limiting.
Yes.
And so I never make this, my illness, my this, my. It is something manifested in the body.
Right.
And it's just simply there.
Yes.
But as long as my soul is here and my soul's driving the vehicle, I'm moving forward.
Exactly. Yes. I love that. And I love what you said about it is, I like, for one of my purposes of this show too, is to empower people in the sense that let them to know, and again, this is my truth I'm sharing, but that they are in the driver's seat. Like you said, your higher self that knows all is in the driver's seat. Your higher self knows exactly when to come into this life experience and when it is best to leave this life experience. It's all self choice. It's nobody imposing this demand. Oh, you have to go to Earth and do this and that, and you'll come back when I tell you to come back. It's none of that. It's all free will, and that is one of a message I really want to get across on this show, that I want people to own their own life experience.
Right, and know in your heart of hearts that no experience is ever wasted.
Exactly.
It all has some kind of meaning.
Yes.
And you're never alone.
Yes.
With it. Never
Very
alone.
true. Very true. And if it's an experience that we are creating, we don't create anything we can't handle. So if it's something we're going through, we can handle it because we created it. We know we can handle it. Can you pull on your mic again? I'm just your hair or something. I don't know if it's your hair, your sweater.
This is supposed to be the mic right here.
Yeah, I see it.
I know.
But, okay.
But I will tell you, even though the hair is not in the way, I have weird electrical fields around me.
Oh.
I know, and I have met a few other people. Okay, so last Saturday in the Villages at the workshop,
okay,
battery drained, brand new battery on my mic drained in the first half hour, 40 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there are some things that happen. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you okay. I've never not been able to hear you, but it goes up and it goes in and out. And maybe that's the spirits.
I know.
Yeah.
Really strong with you.
Yes.
I can see your do you mind if I tell you about your aura? Is that
cool?
Oh,
please.
Okay. So there's a tremendous mauve-y pink around you that tells me this compassion color, because in the heart color it can emanate a green. A pink is an even higher vibration of compassion, and then above all is the gold. And that saying, there's a heart of gold, he had a heart of gold, that actually comes from somewhere. When people back in the old days would see auras from time to time because they weren't distracted.
Right.
So there are gold flecks in the energy all around you that extend so far out. Your aura is so big that I can't see the edges of it on the screen.
Oh, wow.
And so this is the highest frequency of the heart chakra, which I seldom see. And that's why I felt so safe coming out about having a chronic illness. I'm not perfect, and I can say that.
Well, you know what? You are perfect, because we're all perfectly divine. We're all aspects. I know I always say, if from our human consciousness, we say these things. We say that we're not perfect. But when we really look at it from the soul level, we are all exactly where we're supposed to be. We're all exactly perfect. We truly are perfect aspects of the divine, because that's the truth. The illusion is, this and that. That's part of the illusion. But the truth is, we are perfect exactly the way we are.
And another thing I'm trying to get across to people is to not put mediums up on pedestals.
Yes.
Like we're so special. So it's funny because we're either deified, where we're put way up here, or we're demonized, like it's all bad.
Right,
and
right.
Somewhere in the middle is the actual truth.
Right.
Instead of admiring me or somebody like, you have a gift. Yeah, so do you.
Yes.
We all have some kind of gift. And furthermore, the one that I have, even though I can do this for others, you can always do it for yourself.
Exactly.
So I send everyone listening to our voices or seeing our pictures, send you love and send the vibration of power and energy. The love battery is revved up.
Yes.
Start making your own connection with your own spirit team that's around you.
Yes. In truth, we are all equal divine aspects of God. We're all equal. There's nobody above or below. I mean, the homeless man sleeping on a park bench is equal to President Donald Trump. I just pop him in my head. But anyway, we're all equal divine aspects of God, and we're unique.
Right.
We're all unique.
The spirit
aspects.
People tell us in 200
Yes.
years of communications through mediums with wonderful credentials and great evidential backgrounds. The spirit world has been telling us, and we've been documenting for 200 years now, that they are in tune with us and we are in tune with them. But we have a filter in our brain that will only allow certain things to come through so that we can have the human experience.
Right.
So like if you came here and remembered exactly who you are as a soul, exactly why you were here, it would be like the teacher gave you the answers to the test questions ahead of time. How would you ever learn?
Exactly. And I think of it like a play or a movie, and say those actors really get into their character. But if they remember that they're not their character, you know, they couldn't act as well. So we choose to go through this amnesia. We choose to forget who we are, come down here so we can play these roles. And we play them really good because we don't remember who we are. If we knew, it would be a really boring movie. It's like, oh, I can't play that anymore. I know who I am. So it's definitely, and I love it. I love all the different analogies of Earth as a school, Earth as a play, it's a movie. I love all of the analogies because they all work. It's a game. Earth is a game. Earth game. I got, you know, and I think that the win to win the game, the Earth game, is to awaken and remember who you truly are. But
and then you'll never want to be the person that just wants to amass a whole lot of stuff.
Exactly.
Make money and buy more stuff.
Yes.
And I don't have, my husband and I had this huge home, palatial home with a big yacht and 2 jet skis behind our house.
I have a jet ski.
Oh, yeah, a jet ski is a good thing.
Yes.
We had, and then this and then that and these cars and all this stuff. And I'm thinking, we don't enjoy any of it.
Yeah.
Because we're too busy. He's too busy working. I'm too busy working.
Yes.
And, you know, crushing the competition.
Yes. Yes.
To actually enjoy the stuff. And now having everything pared down and less, sure, I still like a little luxury in my life. Who doesn't? But it's not the thing I'm going for.
Yes.
I'm going for contentment.
Yes.
Now, and you can be content with so much less.
Yes.
And so much less responsibility. And when I think back about the unhappy, unsettled, egotistical person that I was, I'm glad that I had the experience.
Yes.
So I can understand like the comparison between being bitter and angry and being loving and open.
The contrast.
That doesn't mean I'm a pushover.
Right.
You know, don't mess with me. Right? Don't mess with me.
Yeah.
But if you mess with me, I'll compassionately detach. Like, yeah, that's your business. That's your story you're telling, not mine.
Well,
but still, I like to know that I have a beginning, a middle, and a growth, and no end.
What you described is the contrast. And that's the contrast we need to know, to appreciate, like, our spiritual development, our growth. We had to go through that. We wouldn't be able to appreciate it if we didn't go through that. It's the contrast. And when even if, let's say, poor to rich, someone can really appreciate when they have financial wealth if they experience those hardships of being poor. It's just that contrast, you just appreciate it even more. But when you grow spiritually, you understand it's not the physical stuff, because all of that is transitory. That's not, it's to live a carefree life. That's
the carefree life. And the spirit world tells us that when we do arrive home, all of our kind acts of compassion towards others and ourselves matter more and carry more weight than any big check
Yes.
that we've ever written to a charity.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Having said that, though, if you want to donate $1 million to AREI or Helping Parents Heal, they'll be happy to take your money and put it to good use. But you see my point. It's like it's the intention behind the act, and it's the love that we've given and received. I mean, there's people on the other side that they may have been homeless, but they were so kind and so loving to everyone they met that when they get home, not only do they get the party, they get the parade.
Yes.
Because they're so well known over there. They talk about us when they see us do good.
Wow. Wow. Yes. And that's true. Only thing we can take with us to the other side is what we do. And it's important. I'm glad you said for yourself, because you do have to do for yourself and others, because you can't think of, oh, I'm just going to do for others and not for me. It doesn't work.
That's ego. That's ego. That's you deciding you know what other people want.
Right.
You know what they need, or you need to be liked by everyone. So you're just going to give. And there's a resentment that forms instead of a sense of, oh, thank you for being so kind to me, if you do too much of that.
Right.
And that's because it's coming from the ego of, I want everybody to like me, or I want to take care of everybody. So when you take that, you need some ego and you need some edge to you to survive in this world. Mm-hmm. But you also want to ask people, how do you see me helping you?
Yes.
How do you think I can best serve you and help in this issue? Yes. As opposed to you deciding and jumping in and doing. And I see so many high empath people, they run that danger of becoming like the front of the heart chakra is doing all the work. The back of the heart chakra is how we treat ourselves. And I can actually look at the aura and see like a plugged drain. You know, like if you ever get your shower drain all, jacked up with hair, and you look at, so I see it like that.
Yes.
The aura. And I know I've got somebody that's like, they're all focused out here and nothing's going on there. And they're actually spiritually starving.
Yes.
And then they'll take a bunch of classes and 50 workshops this year and and to each teacher they say, I'm looking for the answers. And finally they find a teacher that says it's in you.
Yes.
Right? Is that where you're going?
That's exactly what I'm saying. That the answer is in. It's not out. It's right here. That's where, and I think any teacher worth their salt will turn you inside.
That's right.
The answer is not in me. It is in you. That is where all the answers lie. And that's so true. That's why I say it's first you have to fill yourself up so you can fill up others. It's not the other way around. You have to first give to you so you can give to others. And the best way to give to others is to just embody love and ask, what can I do? Don't assume. What can I do? How can I help?
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
You're a soul sister.
And I'll get to hug you.
That is going to be cool.
That is going to be amazing. I am just, every time I do a show, this is like, I've done over 100 shows. I think this might be 104, my 104th show. Every show I do, it's like I don't need to drink. I don't need to do drugs. This show, just doing this show and sharing it with the world is my high. It really is.
I feel it. And I felt it even before we started the show. So that's how powerful this is. This venue is, this avenue for you is. And I just want to tell you, I also see like a television show for you. And it's, I don't know if it's like a Lifetime or Discovery or A&E or something like that. But I keep seeing like a TV screen in front of me, and there's like a little logo down in the corner.
Oh,
so
wow.
I know that that's being manifested in the spirit world. I don't have a time frame for you, but know that everything is a function of different parties' free will. So you just keep your eyes open for the opportunity and know that the spirit world is manifesting, because they would really like you to have, you have a huge platform already, but they want it to be larger, to be able to help more people.
You're going to make me cry, because honestly, no, that's on my affirmation, my daily affirmation.
Good. And if you will fall asleep each night with, whatever prayers you say or affirmations you do, with the feeling as though you have the show.
Yes.
and feel it in the body and let yourself drift off to sleep with that good feeling that will help, you know, increase the frequency of the universe to get that stuff done.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh my
pleasure.
God. Oh, you're so amazing. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to meet you in person. And you and Susanne will be there, and Irene and Elizabeth and everybody. This is so wonderful. You bring tears to my eyes.
And if I could plug AREI, it's afterlifesymposium.org. We are a non-profit.
Yes.
And the AREI Afterlife Symposium this year is September 13th through 16th, also in Scottsdale.
Matter of fact, I'm going to the website now. I'm going to join, and I want to go to the symposium, all of that. I'm doing that right now. Like I said, I have been in touch with Craig because I sent Craig the audio.
Well, I can tell you right now, we'd love to have you on a panel.
I want to be.
Okay, great. We need you. We need you on a panel. I can just, my team is saying, you got to ask right here, right now on air.
Thank you.
Because you have a lot to share with us. Can I say a couple more things about appearances? Is that okay?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Yes. Oh, please.
With Susanne Giesemann, I know you're a top tier member of her fan club, as am I.
Yes.
We just were in Florida this past weekend, and we'll be in Minneapolis, Minnesota, May 19th and 20th for Up Close and Personal. And that's Up Close and Personal with your spirit guides and with us. It's a wonderful weekend. We had like 180 people this past weekend, and the energy was through the roof, and people met their spirit guides, which is great. And then on August 19th in Carlsbad, California, I will be with Mark Anthony, the psychic lawyer, for Spirit Symposium in Carlsbad, California in August. And these are all wonderful learning opportunities. And best of all, the internet's great, but meeting in person with like-minded people, there's no substitute for that. A while ago, Caroline said, I'm going to actually get to give you a physical hug at Helping Parents Heal Conference in April, and you just can't substitute that. So there's room for both.
Yes, yes, so true. And yes, please share your website so all of our listeners can tap into you and follow.
Well, it's so easy. You know what it is? It's carefreemedium.com.
Yes.
Carefreemedium.com. Love to see you in a class.
Yes.
I am not able to take new clients for individual readings. Once in a while, after I have an event, I may open up a few spots for individual readings. But once the waiting list all totaled over 1,000 people, I kind of said, whoa, and tuned into the guides, and they said, teach more, Susanne. But I'd love to see you guys at an event or in one of my online classes with just a handful of students and me. So carefreemedium.com.
And all of the links that you just mentioned, I'm going to make sure are in the description of this video. So
that's wonderful.
Easy for people to find.
That's wonderful. So have me as a guest on your TV show when you get it.
Of course. Definitely. Definitely. I might have you and Susanne together.
Yes. Yes. We have. Yes. We're the dynamic duo.
Yes. That would be great. Oh my God. This has been such an amazing hour. And I am, again, it's just, there are no words really when the Carefree Medium and living a carefree life is all about understanding the truth of who you are. And the truth, when I say that, I always like to preference, I'm sharing my truth, Susanne is sharing her truth, but you have to go within. It's not, don't go to me, don't go to Susanne, go within to tap into your own truth.
Perfect.
Yes. Thank you so much. I love you.
My pleasure. Much love. I love you very, very much.
I love you so much.
Honored to finally meet you.
Yes. And I will see you soon in person.
Can't wait.
Thank you.